Here we go. All right. What's up, everybody? Good morning to everybody involved. It is an early edition of our mock draft show coming to you live from Vegas and Houston. I got Brandon here with me. Today, we have the New York Jets on slate. We're going to talk everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. And at the end of the show, we'll make our draft selections on who we think the Jets should select with the number 4 overall pick. Brandon, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. You know, it's the Jets. There's some promise. There's some talent. Now, we just need to see if they can put it all together. But you ready to get the show going?
Let's do it.
All right, so here we go. The Jets entered a new era of another head coach. The Adam Gase era is over. Here comes the Robert Saleh head coaching experience, defensive technician, mad scientist, whatever you want to call him. Well, it was anything but that in his first year as the reins of the head coach of the New York Jets. They ended up going 4-13, 28th offense, and the worst defense in the NFL. Now, I'm sure that's something that he's not too happy about. But I'm sure he took this job knowing that, they had to fix up the offense a little bit. And they try to do everything, and I think they have the talent. Now they just got to put it all together. And, here we are 1 year later. I think the Jets are a better position than they are today than they were last year. There's no controversy at quarterback. They got some nice names, young names that are going to play together for a while. And I think Robert Saleh is going to keep adding, and eventually I think this is the draft that he's going to take his reins and his brain to pick up some defensive players along the way, free agency, draft-wise, but we'll see. Let's recap that his first draft, which is a lot of names. So bear with me, people. Bear with me. So we all know first pick or second pick in the draft, they went Zach Wilson. Not an amazing year, but understandably so. The Jets had no weapons. Jets had no talent, and they did the best they could with them. 2,300 throwing yards, 9 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But the problem is some people still think Zach Wilson is better than Trevor Lawrence. I, unfortunately, fall in that category. So I still think he's better. I still think he falls in that category. Now, their second first-round pick, man, it wasn't that bad of a pick. You found your starting left guard for the next 12 years, Vera Tucker from USC. The guy could play. I don't know what it is about USC last year in their draft picks, but it seems like if you got a kid from USC, he's a fucking stud. It looks like that's an unanimous decision. It's like, did you draft somebody from USC? Yeah, you probably got a starter, man. I mean, it's just what it is, man. But Vera Tucker, a lot of people had him at left. People didn't know. Like every other year, is he a left tackle? Is he a left guard? Well, the Jets put him at left guard. Him and Mickey Becton did their thing. And when they're healthy and they're starting together, you're not getting past that. You might as well try to find another way. You're not going to get past that wall of offensive line at the left side. And then with Connor McGovern as a center, who's not the best, he's not the worst, he's a serviceable center out of Penn State, you got a shot. You got 3 good shots, to keep Zach Wilson better. And, I think what it is, it's just they're all young and they're all still trying to learn how to play together. Now, this was in the second round, this was one of my favorite players to talk about last year. Elijah Moore, the wide receiver out of Ole Miss. The dude was just amazing, man. The guy just, every film that you see on him, it was like pop, pop, pop. Catches, his route running, his acceleration. And surprisingly enough, he led the team in receiving with 538. Now, again, I know that's not saying a lot, but you got to understand.
For a rookie, that's a lot.
They're a rookie. They're rookies. They're not going to be Jamar Chase's, Justin Jefferson's, Amos St. Brown's. They're not going to be. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Sometimes it takes time to develop. But what they did in the division that they're playing, he did all right. And I think him, Corey Davis, and now they added Braxton Berrios back. I think they got a shot. Yeah. They got a good wide receiver room, and they can only add from there. So the next pick, however, I don't know what people were thinking not taking him earlier, and I'm surprised he lasted this long. Round 4, pick 107, Michael Carter, the running back out of UNC. Listen, man. Yeah, this guy, again, led his team in rushing, you know? And it was so crazy that Tevin Coleman got the start over this kid. Like, I'm thinking to myself, and you know what? Maybe it's a smart thing. Maybe another year, make them all hit the field at the same time, and maybe we'll see an offensive explosion from the Jets here pretty soon. But this kid, if you don't know him, he was backup to Javonte Williams. Okay, and those two, put it this way, it's always cool to have good running backs. But when you have two starting running backs on the same squad in the same college, it's pretty freaking amazing. And Javonte Williams is going to be the starter for Denver next year. And Michael Carter is going to be the starter for the New York Jets. Or he should be the starter.
He better be.
He better be the starter because that dude took a lot of pressure off Zach Wilson. And it looks like they were gaining some momentum. And you know what? For 639 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, to go along with 36 receptions for 325 yards, this dude's your today NFL back. He is your all-purpose back.
Led the Jets in rushing. So,
I mean, listen, this guy is an all-purpose back. He is your 3-down back.
I mean, him and Javon Williams both was what? They both ran over 1,000 yards.
Yep.
Together in North Carolina. Like, it's hard to do.
Yeah, and what's kind of sad is they both had 150 against my Hurricanes. Same game, by the way. Same game. I'm still bitter about that, by the way. Still bitter. I know that was a year ago. Still bitter.
I'm sorry.
Still bitter about that shit. That was terrible. It was. Put it this way: I was unconsolable that day. I was like, "Do not come to me. Do not talk to me. I'm unconsolable right now." But we're at Six Flags. I don't care. Every picture they took, and you know everybody's all happy and everything, and then they get to our cart. Like, unconsolable. The nun was looking like a man that was not having fun at a fun theme park. That's how terrible I was that day. That's how bad of a poor sport I was that day. Now, 5th round. Listen, we always talk about it. When you get 5 to 7, these are the rounds you just hope. They hope they can contribute in some way. And in a way, they kind of might have found a couple starters along the way.
They did.
I mean, look, the first 5th round pick, 146, Jermaine Sherwood, the linebacker out of Auburn, special teams ace, and he's one of the better blockers up front on special teams. I mean, he graded one of the better passer, of all of football as a rookie, and he had 8 tackles on punt return coverages or punt kickoffs. It's one of those things that, hey, sometimes you just get lucky finding a guy like this, Yeah. Now, round 5, pick 154. They took another Michael Carter the second, but it's a cornerback out of Duke. Okay, the speedster corner out of Duke, not to be confused with Michael Carter, the running back that we just talked about. Yes, they drafted 2 Michael Carters. Okay, 2 of them. And I know that's not confusing.
Yeah, I'm about to say, tell me that's not confusing as hell.
Okay, this is Michael Carter, the corner out of Duke. Okay, and he was pretty good. When they put him in a dollar situation, when he had to get out there, 45 tackles. He actually got to the quarterback once. He actually has 1 sack in his resume and 5 pass deflections. And honestly, that's all due to his speed. He might not have the best, technique, but that speed kind of makes it up for him. Now, they double dipped. About 20 picks later, pick 175, they double dipped on another defensive back, Jason Pinnock out of Pitt. Now, the thing with him coming out of the draft is, well, is he a corner or is he a safety? Well, they converted him to safety. And he had to play backup and everything and special teams. But when he was out there, 16 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and a pass deflection. He's just a hard hitter, man. Yeah. He's going to make you pay. He's just a hard hitter. I don't know how long that's going to keep up for his career. But, I mean, at this point, when you're looking for depth, and especially the depth of the way, the Jets are set up now, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Now, they went back to linebacker with round number 6, just 9 picks later. Hazma Nasruddin, the Florida State University linebacker. Same thing with Sherwood, special teams unit, 10 tackles. Nothing much you can say. You just hope that these guys can contribute in some way. And their special teams unit was actually one of the better ones in the NFL, believe it or not. And it's all credit to these guys, I'm telling you right now. That's the thing with people. It's like you think you want to draft Hall of Famers every round. Sometimes you just got to hope for the best. And
Yeah.
that's what the Jets did. The Jets, believe it or not, I think had one of the more, I'm not going to say the best one, but they had one of the more better draft classes last year. To me, if you were going to tell me who I think had the best draft class, I got to go with the Denver Broncos. Those guys killed it last year in the draft class. But we'll get to them, 5 episodes from now. We'll get to them in a little bit. Now, this pick, round 6, number 200, Brandon Echols, the cornerback out of Kentucky. Listen, man, this dude is their slot. Right away, from preseason to the regular season, this dude is their slot, man. 63 tackles, 2 picks, one of them returning for a touchdown, 9 pass deflections. This dude is their slot, man. I mean, there's no other way to go about it. This dude played as well as you wanted a 6th rounder, and the fact that you found a slot cornerback in the 6th round, that's what I call bang for your buck, man. That's bang for your buck when especially in today's NFL, where now base defenses are, 3 corners, dollars, nickels. You need that 3rd corner, and Brandon Echols he's a steal in the 6th round. And then, unfortunately, your last pick didn't pan out. Jonathan Marshall, defensive tackle out of Arkansas. He only had 1 tackle in the 1 game he did play. He's a 3rd string, and he was mostly a healthy scratch. You're not always going to play. Remember, you got 53 players, but only 47 get to suit up. And his name, unfortunately, was the one that was always a healthy scratch. No credit to his fault. It's just, believe it or not, the defensive line of the Jets actually has some pretty good names up there. It really does. And he just fell out of that rotation. But we'll see how it goes. But as good as it was, it didn't result to wins. As I mentioned earlier, 4-13, 28th offense, 32 defense. Brandon, I ask you, what do you think could have gone better, and where do you think it went totally wrong for the Jets?
Okay, it could have went better. Splitting time, I think, with Michael Carter and Trey Tevin Coleman. I think you should have just gave Michael Carter a chance. I think he was a way better running back. Clearly, it fit your offense better. You know how I feel about running back splitting time, and if somebody is showing you that they're better in that offense and the other one's not, get that other person a damn chance. Just let him have it. He's better. Listen, I can. If y'all don't believe me, go look at a bunch of our clips on.
Oh yeah, I mean, for the longest, you said Tony Pollard should be the starter, and not
he should be the starter in Dallas. I'm just saying, good guy. Like Tony Pollard fits Dallas offense better. I'm just saying. But yeah, I think. But they have found some noticeable pieces, like you just said. They found some really noticeable pieces in that draft. I think, though, when you are a defensive coordinator and you're now the head coach of a team, your main focus is your defense. And to have your defense be 32nd, I mean, offensively, it is what it is, but your defense shouldn't be 32nd with all of that talent that you do have on defense. You got Quentin Williams up front. You got Jonathan Franklin Myers. You got these guys. You should be ready to go regardless. You had Marcus May in the backfield for safety. Like, you got talent on defense. Like, for it to be ranked 32nd, yeah, you could say it's more so because of the offense is 28, but still, you're 32nd. And you shouldn't be 32nd ranked when your head coach is supposed to be a defensive-minded person. That's a problem for me. That's why I think it just went completely wrong. And Zach Wilson, listen, you said it earlier. You are one of the rare few people that think Zach Wilson was better than Trevor Lawrence. I don't think either one of these guys are really that damn good. But if I had to pick, I'm going to probably say Zach Wilson because I actually could see him throwing the ball 60 yards down the field. I actually saw it. He just needs time and weapons. And I think if he gets it, gets the protection.
Yeah.
But like you said, they drafted a pretty good damn right guard. I mean, if Mika could stay healthy, the left tackle, if he could stay healthy, that's a different conversation in a whole nother light. Like, that's a way different conversation. Because if they did fix the right side of the line, that's a different conversation. I think it's a really, really intuitive situation. But yeah, what went wrong? Everything. I mean, the defense, the offense, everything. But they were young, and I think as a young team, you don't know how
And
to
you could
fix.
tell, and you said the perfect word, young. The
They're
Jets are
young.
young. Like, understand this: when their rookie quarterback, their rookie running back, and their rookie wide receiver are leading
Leaders.
their teams of the categories in the each
Leaders.
position, that shows you these guys are young, but they're hungry. They're hungry, man. I know Zach Wilson's ready to go. I know Elijah Moore's ready to go. I know Elijah Vera Tucker's ready to go.
Oh
I
yeah.
know Michael Carter's ready to go. I know the rest of these names I named you, they're ready to go. And listen, you said it. For Robert Saleh, like, understand this. Your leading tackler was CJ Mosley. 168 tackles and 2 sacks. There's no way you should have a 32 ranked defense with CJ Mosley as your middle linebacker. Quinnen Williams and John Franklin Myers, which, by the way, deserves some props. The dude is unknown, but the kid can play. The dude can ball, man. You know, him.
Everybody's focused on Quentin Williams because Quentin Williams came out and he's the bigger name. But Jonathan Franklin Myers, you're gonna learn. That's all I can say. You're gonna learn.
You know, I mean, and understand this: both of those names that we just mentioned, they led their team in sacks, 6 each. All right, they have 12 sacks combined them. That's pretty freaking good. And the thing about Jonathan Franklin Myers is you can put him at end, you can put him inside, and the dude can still get to the quarterback. It's still, like, it doesn't matter. The dude's just a versatile lineman.
Yeah.
Now, you know, the rookie Brandon Nicholas and Austin Davis, you know, with 2 interceptions each. There's talent there.
Yeah.
And I say this every time. Every team has talent because you can't be in the NFL with no talent.
True.
It's just when you're a young team like this, it's hard to win when you're a young team like this because you don't know how to win.
Yeah, that's true.
It takes time for young teams to win in the NFL because young players don't know how to win. And then you get experience. This is how you win. This is how you practice. This is how you play. It takes time. And you know what? I mean, the names I just named you, those are some pretty good names. I mean, Quinnen Williams. Who would have thought Quinnen Williams would be the best defensive lineman between him and Leonard Williams? Like, who would ever thought that? Leonard Williams was a once-in-a-lifetime prospect. Quinnen Williams was a good product of Alabama. Now it's a totally different conversation.
Yeah.
And you know what? And here's the thing about it. You know, they did lose some people. They did lose some rotational guys and some very important people. You know, Foley Fatuskaski, he's now going to go to Jacksonville. Marcus May, I'm sure you're happy about that. You know, I think it could relieve some pressure out of Malcolm Jenkins being the not do everything safety now. You know, Marcus May, that was a good pickup. And I do not blame him for leaving the Jets. Morgan Moses, who's the veteran right tackle, who's always going to be what I call a Band-Aid. He's never going to be all pro. He's never going to be a Pro Bowler. But goddamn, you're pretty happy. You're pretty lucky to get a right tackle like Morgan Moses, who just loves to play and actually knows how to play the right tackle position. Jamison Crowder has now left to Buffalo, and Gerard Davis is actually going home to Detroit. He actually re-signed with Detroit again. So it's kind of weird that they got Alex Anzalone, but they got Jared Davis too, and it's like, okay, like, all right.
Listen, like I said when we talked about Detroit, Alex Anzalone is good defensively when you're running the ball. Everything else,
Put it this way, Gerard Davis, I think, could come in a dime situation if need be. Okay, if need be. So we'll see how that works. Now, on the flip side, when you're the Jets and you don't have to play a lot of people and you don't give up a lot of draft capital, you're going to have a lot of cap space. And I'm going to say they actually did some pretty good in free agency this year. For one, Lincoln Tomlinson, the guard from San Francisco, he is now going to come in and play right guard. So we mentioned it. You got to take care of the right side. Well, what better than a right guard who knows Robert Saleh and knows what they're trying to run? So there you go. Get the guy with familiarity, Lincoln Tomlinson. DJ Reed from Seattle. That's your replacement for Marcus May. There you go. Safety. There you go. The hero, the unsung hero of the wild card for Cincinnati, CJ Uzma. Damn it. He is now a New York Jet, all right? He's now leaving Cincinnati to go to, the Jets and everything, and I think that's a great pickup. They get a pass-catching tight end. I think that's a great pickup. Tyler Conklin, another tight end. He's going to be another blocking tight end for you guys. If they're really going to be a power-running team, you need a blocking tight end, and Tyler Conklin's one of the better ones. Jordan Whitehead, he's now leaving Tampa Bay. He was actually let's face the facts. We said it in every show in our prediction. The secondary for Tampa Bay scary, but other than Antoine Whitfield, Jordan Whitehead was probably the better defensive back out of all of them. And he's now going to be heading to the Jets. So now you got a situation where it's DJ Reed, Jordan Whitehead. All right, there's your two starting safeties. And then you still have LaMarcus Joyner. Jason Pinnock is there again. So there's going to be competition for safety. So, okay, there's your hands clean on that. Jake Martin, the outside linebacker from Houston, he's now going to be a Jet. And the also favorable Greg Zuerlein leaving Dallas to the Jets. All right, he's going to be now a New York Jet. So, yeah, they might have lost some good players, but they replaced them. And they added some really good talent.
Yeah.
So now they added the veteranship to teach them how to practice, which should result to better results on both sides of the offense and defense. So what say you? I mean, do you see any of these free agents that did come in that can help in right away?
CJ Uzama, because Zach Wilson needs a catching tight end. And for Joe Burrow last year, CJ Uzama spared a lot of those moments that he needed, especially earlier in the season when you didn't know if Jamar Chase was going to be Jamar Chase.
Yep.
CJ Uzama is a really good pickup. Lewis Tomlin, I think, is a great addition. Like I said, right guard, that's a very important position. You need to solidify that right side of the line for Zach Wilson. Like I said, he needs time. If you're on your back, you can't throw 60 yards down the goddamn football field. Makes no sense. So you need help. So
I think it's just a shame, though, that they couldn't find a way to re-sign Morgan Moses, because then we're looking at a whole conversation of, oh, man, if Becton can stay healthy, then, dude, that offensive line, we could be going places.
It could be something there. I mean, let's be real. It could be something there. But
now I have a feeling that maybe they want to try something younger, which is okay. It's understandable. But it's just Morgan Moses to walk away for that price? I don't know. That one kind of didn't sit with me well. And then Nick Bowden, the fullback, they re-signed him. So, I mean, I'm going to say this. The Jets are already doing more for Zach Wilson than they ever did for Sam Darnold. Let's put it that way. They're doing more for Zach Wilson than they ever did for Sam Darnold. So
that's not hard.
Tell you something.
That's not that hard, which is
it's not that hard, but at the same time, it's like, hey man, Sam Darnold never got Corey Davis as a free agent pickup.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold never got drafted a running back to take the load off of him. They never drafted a badass guard for him. So they're not building a solid defense for him. I mean,
so what you're saying is that the Jets didn't really like Sam Darnold like that.
I guess not. I guess that's exactly what I'm saying, that they did not like Sam Darnold this much. But in all seriousness, the way I see the Jets being formed right now, I think they're being formed like a Robert Saleh team. They want people that love football. They're going to breathe football. And I think, you just have to be versatile. And I think that's just Robert Saleh's thing. You got to be versatile with this team. I just named you right now, Elijah Vera Tucker. Sure, he could play tackle, but he's an amazing guard, but he's your emergency tackle. Jason Pinnock, he could play corner, but he's preferably better at safety. Lincoln Tomlinson, he could play left and right guard. DJ Reed can also play safety corner. Jordan Whitehead's your full safety. He's your box safety. Could be your covered safety. What I'm saying is, Robert Saleh is putting a team that's going to be one, physical,
versatile,
and high awareness. You got to be very smart to play for Robert Saleh. And I think those are the three key components to play for the New York Jets. Now, granted, what you want, the results didn't end up like that. 4-13, 28th offense, worst defense in the league. It's just whether that's injuries or just talent, no depth. It's a mixture of a lot of things, but nobody's going to feel sorry for you. The results are still the results.
Yeah.
It was still a terrible defense. The offense was inconsistent. Do I expect a better jump from year 2? I expect so, but you got to look at the division that they're at. New England's still playing hard. Buffalo is like the new kings of the East. Miami just picked up Tyreek Hill. How is that going to help Tua? Is that going to – and now you pair him, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Parker? I mean, damn. The Jets are still the Jets, in a sense. The Jets are still the Jets. I don't know how far this is going to go for the Jets. But I will say this. I think in due time, they got to give Robert Saleh a chance. I don't think they should fall under the pressure of, well, everybody in our division is better. It's not that. It's because they were already better before he got there. You got to give this man a chance to build this team. And I'm not saying it's going to be this year. I'm not saying it's going to be the year after that. It could be 3 years from now. But in due time, I think the Jets are building something special here. And if they have another draft class like this year, like they did last year, and the results are the same, who knows? Maybe they could cut that by short a year.
Yeah,
maybe they can. So I don't know. I don't know, but that's all I got. Brandon, you got anything to add for the Jets before we make our selection here?
I'm with you. I think the Jets might be, for me right now, depending on what we see from Miami, I'm still not too high hope-ish on Tua. We shall see. I feel like it's more like Cleveland when Baker got Odell and Jarvis, more so than Cincinnati with Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
So we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
But I think the Jets have a chance to be the third best team in the AFC East, and that's probably the best thing they can hope for. And like I said, Zach Wilson can take a leap up depending on what they do with this draft. And if he has protection, he has some time. He's got a running back, clearly. He's got a number 1 receiver. Now he's got a tight end. If he gets a number 2, is that Corey Davis? We shall see as we continue to go. Maybe move Corey Davis to the slot, and maybe you draft a receiver. I don't know. But I think that for right now, for the Jets, their free agency was good. Let's see if they could continue that with the draft. And that's the best I can do.
I know. It's a hard sell for the Jets.
Yeah.
It's a very hard sell. But I just think this team's going to go in the right direction. I think they got the right guy for it. We'll just see what they do. Let's see if the general manager and him can see eye to eye again in these draft picks, because you don't want another situation where it was like Philadelphia last year where they drafted somebody and nobody was clapping. You do not want that. You want to be on the same page, guys. You want to be on the same page. So here we go. So
you don't have to be, but you want to be.
Exactly. There you go. See, that's perfect. You don't have to agree with me, but we got to be okay to know that this is going to be the right direction for our team. That's all we need. That's what we need. All right. So here we go. All right, Brandon. So here we go. Roger Goodell's walking up to the podium. He's got that card. Brandon, what name is Roger Goodell going to read for the New York Jets at pick number 4?
All right. The number 4 pick for the New York Jets. The pick will be Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Cincinnati cornerback. He will now be a New York Jet. I think I had completely different names on here, but I'm like, when I look at it and I went and read it, I was like, he fits this team as much as you can fit a team, because you need a cornerback. You need a true number. Lamarcus Joyner is getting up there, but you need a 2. And if you got a slot already and you know Lamarcus Joyner can just do what he needs to do to keep the game, keep his side good, you need a number 1. And you need a rookie that can actually do great. And everybody knows if you can get a sizable noticeable, a pretty good damn cornerback who clearly everybody's like is going to be the number one cornerback off the draft board. And you know defense is going to be their main focus because Robert Saleh is a defensive-minded head coach, and they had a 30-second defense. So 9 out of 10, I'm probably going slot. I'm going secondary. That's probably the worst part of the whole damn defense. I'm going secondary. And I'm going to get Ahmad Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati. That's my pick for the Jets. The first pick for the Jets in the first round. Why?
I like it. You know, I love that Sauce Gardner kid, dude. That dude is everything you expect the corner to be, man. That dude is like, yo, man. And if he goes to the Jets, dude, I don't want to say Revis 2.0, but put it this way. He's already better ahead technique-wise than Darrelle Revis coming in. It's just Darrelle Revis learned, and then something came out of it. So maybe it was a scheme. Maybe it was the defense he was part of, but he was still a good corner. But I'm not going to say he's better than Patrick Surtain because I think Patrick Surtain had better technique than Garner, but Gardner's still a pretty good corner. He's still up there. Now, you said it, you know, but, you know, I think it's important to always have a number one. I think it's always important to have a number one corner. It makes your secondary room more relaxed. More, you know, takes the pressure off the edge on, oh crap, who has to be the hero? And when you have a number one corner, it's just like, oh, okay, we know that this dude's going to cover their best guy. Cool. All right, good. And like you mentioned, I think that they do have another first round pick. And it's going to be very interesting to see how we get there. What names are left by the time we get there.
Oh my God.
You know, it's going to be very interesting to see the names that we get there. Now, for me, when I think of Robert Saleh, I think about his time in San Francisco. And I don't always think about the names. I always think about the rotations. I always think about how he always kept his guys fresh. And that always started at the front four. He always kept his guys fresh. He always turned it around. He always, you know, even when Nick Bosa went down with that ACL injury, San Francisco was still leading. They were still one of the best teams in
They found a way.
And why? It's a credit to him to keep them fresh, to keep them ready. And I think that's what Robert Saleh is trying to build here. They're trying to find rotational guys. Yeah, they're superstars, but you know what? I need you more in the playoffs than I need you for a Week 7 game. I got to keep you fresh. And I think that's what he wants to build here. Now, there's a lot of names I could have gone here. And there's a lot of names that I could have thrown in there. Well, for example, yesterday, Trayvon Walker could be a name. Kayvon Thibodeau could be a name. Yeah. George Perifalatis could be from Wake Forest. Could be a name. But I went a whole different completely route. This is my shocker at pick. This is what I would do at pick number 4 if I was the New York Jets. Okay. So for me, I would call my guy to hand the card over, and with the 4th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Jermaine Johnson II, defensive end from FSU. That's right. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna do this right, man. I know Gardner's there. I know I always say that BPA, but sometimes you have to build from the front to work to the back. I get it. I know it's a long shot, but this is what I would do if I was the Jets. I would go Jermaine Johnson II here. Go ahead, man. Lay it on me. What's wrong with this pick? Go ahead. Lay it on me, Brandon.
Nothing's wrong with the pick. I actually agree. But it's like, yeah, you need a pass rusher. But I think you got such a front. The 2 guys that you already have, John Franklin Myers, Quentin Williams. Yes, you can go pass rush in that situation, which he would fit perfect. He would fit perfect because those 2 men, you already have like at least 2 guys on them trying to just hold them back. And he can just come and get anything he wants. I don't know. It's just something about that. I think in the secondary, as as much as they have that idea in their heads, and I think Robert Saleh does think that we gotta get pass rush, we gotta create pass rush. You need somebody to catch the damn ball too. If you get pass rush,
yeah.
you need somebody to catch the ball. Like, clearly, I don't think they have, like you said, a solidified number one at corner. So that's why I went with my Sauce Garner, because I think they need that. They're gonna need somebody to solidify that cornerback position, because you do have somewhat of a pass rush. You said it earlier. Jonathan Franklin Myers is a hard person to stop, either on the edge or inside. I think you got a pass rush. We shall see though. But they do have another pick, and we shall see what they do with that 10th pick. Because
I think the way I looked at it with this pick, it was more of, okay, understand that this was the defensive line week 1 for the Jets. Carl Lawson at defensive end.
Quinton Williams.
Yeah, he got hurt. This was supposed to be the projected line. It was Carl Lawson at the defensive end, Quinton Williams in the middle, Sheldon Rankins as your number 2 defensive tackle, and then you had John Franklin Myers as your defensive end. The way I see it, this is just me. This is the way I see it. I do not think Sheldon Rankins, I'm not saying he's not a starter. I don't think he's a starter for the Jets. I just don't think he fits that mold for the Jets as of right now.
He doesn't.
Now, can I see him come in as a rotational guy, keeping guys fresh? Absolutely. And this is what I project, barring injuries, God forbid, barring injuries. This is if my pick were to go my way. Carl Lawson at the left defensive end, Quinton Williams and John Franklin Myers inside at defensive tackle, and you got Jermaine Johnson as your pass rush defensive end on the right side. And at that point, if you need to, Jermaine's tired. All right, John, move on inside. Sheldon, come in. Sheldon's tired. It's all about rotation for Robert Saleh. It's all about the rotation. It's all about keeping guys fresh, keeping guys in there, keeping guys energized, keeping guys engaged. Now, Sauce Garner would be amazing. I think he would look amazing in that jet green. I think that would be the hardest freaking uniform that you could think of, especially if they allow him not even his last name, just put Sauce. If they allow him to put Sauce in the Jets uniform, I'm not going to lie. I might buy that for my sister. I might buy that for my sister with my money. I might do it. But, in neither pick, I don't think Sauce Gardner is a bad pick either. I'm just trying to think Robert Saleh in his mind, which is very hard. And I just go back to the San Francisco days. Keeping guys fresh, keeping guys energized, intact, engaged. I have a feeling, and I get it, Trayvon Walker tested better. Kayvon Thibodeau is probably better. But I just think Jermaine Johnson just has more to prove. I think him and Robert Saleh, they come from the same mold. And this is what I mean. He didn't even start off as a Division I offer. He started at Independence Community College. All right, 58 tackles, 8 sacks, and 3 forced fumble. And I know what people were thinking out there when they see this show. Independence Community College, why does that sound familiar? You know that show Last Chance U? Yeah, that's the same guy. That's the same guy. Last Chance U guy, exactly. And he only lasted 1 year, which was his freshman year. Then he transferred to Georgia. Now, if Kirby Smart was as smart as he looks, maybe he would have put Jermaine Johnson in the starting lineup and not as a rotational guy, because his 2 years in Georgia, his first year, 20 tackles, 2.5 sacks. His second year, 16 tackles, 4 sacks. If Kirby Smart would have smart as he was, he would have put Jermaine Johnson in the starting lineup. Why? Because then he transfers to FSU, 70 tackles, 12 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 2 pass deflections. You mean to tell me that somewhere in there you didn't see starter Kirby Smart? Probably would have made your job a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Probably would have had 2 national championships instead of 1. Instead of 1, you probably would have had 2. And listen, the guy in his first year at the ACC, this is all he did. He won the Walter Camp Football Foundation Award, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and first team All-ACC in his first year. The reason I like Jermaine Johnson here is because I think him and Robert Saleh come from the same mold. They had to work for everything just to get where they're at, and they still doubt. Even after proving everything wrong, they still doubt him. And I think him and Robert Saleh would be a great connection right away. Now, Sauce Gardner, I think Robert Saleh will love that guy too. Because at that point, you're going to see him go up against Stephon Diggs. You're going to see him go up against Tyreek Hill.
Oof.
You're going to see him go up against whoever the Patriots are going to get. Whoever the Patriots have now. Jacoby Harris or Jacoby Myers, N'Keal Harry. Yeah, fuck it. They have somebody. Fuck it. They have to have somebody. Uncle P, I love you, baby. Don't come after me. I love you, baby. Uncle P, I love you, man. But, if Sauce Gardner ends up on the Jets, I mean, I would not be upset about that pick. I don't think anybody in the Jets Foundation, they would not be upset about this pick whatsoever. And you know what? It just seems like Sauce Gardner is just going to stay on the East Coast. That's what it looks like to me. That's the indication to me, is that he's going to stay on the East Coast. But we shall see. I mean, I like your pick. I mean, I get it. It could have been Trayvon Walker. Hey, Guns and Mike, what's going on, man? We're just doing our draft show, baby. It could be Trayvon Walker. It could be Kayvon Thibodeau. But who's to say that Jermaine Johnson doesn't deserve the same respect as the other two, who, in a way, kind of outperformed both of them in this college season? So I know for many, Jermaine Johnson is probably not a high pick, but damn, if you put him in the Jets with that lineup, possibilities are endless for me.
I like the pick. Like I said, I like the pick. I think it's a good pick. And I don't think that they're going to go for a splashy name. I mean, Sauce Gardner is kind of splashy, but it's not super splashy.
Yeah.
And Juwan Johnson, he fits what I think Robert Saleh wants. He wants somebody that's completely off the grid, but kind of can come in and do what he needs to do to win those games for him. And I think you're right when it comes to that. I think if you go get like a Trayvon Walker or a Thibodeau, you're getting the name. You're not really getting the player in a sense.
I understand what you mean. Yeah, it's a fine line.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, I think Robert Saleh, he wants to keep that away from him keep that away from the Jets as much as he possibly can, as long as he can. And I think that, they went out, like even last year, Zach Wilson wasn't supposed to be the second overall pick. I mean, everybody was like, you go get maybe Trey Lance or somebody else and they could fit your team better. But he was just like, nah, I'm going to just get Zach Wilson. He comes from BYU. Like, think about that. Like, he came from BYU. Nobody thought about Zach Wilson.
Understand the names that they picked, okay? BYU, USC, Ole Miss, UNC, Auburn, Duke, Pitt, FSU, Kentucky, Arkansas. How many of those schools do you think really get notoriety? USC? Ole Miss? Maybe? Auburn? That's about it.
That might be it.
He looks where no one's willing to look.
And that's what I'm saying.
Sometimes that's where you find the diamonds in the rough.
I think that's why I feel like he's going Sauce Gardner, because he comes from Cincinnati, and I think a lot of people would not even
up until this year. You think anybody knew who Cincinnati was? Did you think anybody knew who the Bearcats were?
They knew of them. They didn't think they could do what they did this year.
Like, understand, Cincinnati these last 2 years have been a pretty good football program. And I mean, it's all going to change now that the seniors are leaving, the juniors and seniors are leaving.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because now they have to rebuild and everything. But, yeah. I mean, it happens. It happens, man. It happens. But, yeah, I don't know. I think for the Jets, I think it's going to be one of those, well, what do you do? Do you go with Robert Saleh's philosophy, which you said that you wanted to do, and which is why you bring him in here? Or you're right, BPA. Do you go for the next best available player, which is Sauce Gardner? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he's the consensus number one cornerback, but if you ask 10 people,
pretty damn close.
7 of them are going to say Sauce is number one.
Yeah.
So that's as close as you're going to get to a consensus number one. So I think for the Jets, I think they just have to play it smart here. Just listen, go with your gut, go with your gut, go with your gut. And these two players that we named, they're pretty good at their craft. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what the Jets do here at pick 4 because, again, there's no consensus number one. We don't know what Jacksonville's doing. We don't know what any of these guys doing. So the Jets have to wait a little bit. And at that point, they're going to have to pull the trigger on somebody. It's just going to be interesting to see what trigger it's going to be when they do pull it. So I'm excited for that. But Brandon, it was another fun show, man. The Jets, they have made their decision by 2 alternate universes. In one universe, Sauce Gardner is going to be locking up Tyreek Hill. And in another universe, Jermaine Johnson is going to relieve some pressure for Quinnen Williams to double his production, which is a scary thought when you think about it.
Very scary. Very, very scary.
So, in the end, we'll see what happens. But we're going to let you guys decide. Here we go. Second pick in a row. Who would you guys rather have? Sauce Gardner for Mr. Brandon over there? Or Jermaine Johnson, the pass rusher from this guy? Or maybe there's another player. There's another player that might be better fit that we just don't see. And maybe you guys can tell us why. But Brandon, thank you so much for another amazing, amazing episode. Tomorrow, we have another New York team. The Giants. Giants are on the clock. And now this is going to be interesting to see what happens with them. This is going to be a team that, oh my God. Oh boy. Woo, yeah. Ooh,
Can I call out tomorrow? Can I call out tomorrow?
I can say.
Yeah, I
The
have
only
no
thing to
clue.
say about the New York Giants is, like, that's it, man. Like, oh man, I got to do my homework on this team for sure because I'm still stumped on who I think they should go with. I mean, I'm getting there, but I'm still kind of like, oh man, the Giants are in a position where, dude, you're in the position of no man's land.
I have no clue.
You're gonna have to draft him because he's the best guy left, and you don't want to take a chance of not getting a player of his caliber down the road. So
I have no clue.
So we'll see. We'll see. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today, whether it was here on YouTube Live, Instagram Live. Brandon, thank you so much again for tuning or joining me today. Tomorrow, we're going to go with the Giants.
Oh, good God.
Talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, they're really ugly.
I think it's more. I think it's more bad, worse, and just absolutely terrible.
There's got to be some good in there. I know there has to be something good. It's the
this,
thin of the good, but we're going to have to roll with it.
But this much good.
We're going to have to roll with it.
Okay,
tomorrow, it's all about the Giants, and we will see what they do at the end of it. So, Brandon, I will see you tomorrow, my man. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the support. Until then, we out of here. Let's see what happens.